HiPipo Chronicles, and this is a podcast where we get to look into the journey of HiPipo all the way from 2005. And currently we are recording this in 2023. All right. So we are looking at the years as they go by. So we are recording a podcast based on each year. And currently we are at 2009. And this is the third episode of 2009. So in case you missed that, you need to go back and check out the other two episodes of 2009 and also the rest of the years. So before that, we started off 2009 looking at onboarding music onto digital rails, and we got into more of that, the quest for international music, internationalization of music, all right? Getting to have music across more than the East African boundaries. And then we also got into playlists and looking at having people check out their favorite musicians while having to just go to hipipo.com and listen to the music that you want to listen to from your favorite artist. So now we are getting into another topic that happened in 2009. And that is aggregation of music, which is still, like we wrapped up in the last episode, it's still a big topic to this day. People are complaining about splits on aggregation and all that. But on the HiPipo podcast, my name is Mark Xtreme, and we are together with the HiPipo CEO, that is Innocent Kawooya. And on the other end of the cameras, there is George from NG Films.
Director George.
Yes. So, Innocent, another week to talk about the journey in 2009. And we are talking about aggregation of music. So first, talk to me about how the evolution kept on happening and how was the industry at the time receiving this?
Well, the behavior of promoting music and earning from music was, and still is, at a smaller extent now, very traditional and static.
Yeah.
That scaling it means a musician has to drive so fast when they have a hit to actually perform in 4 places.
Yeah. In one night.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yes.
So you remember there on the 31st of December, before COVID, there was some shows that would have the same artists every year.
Yeah.
But they get booked in 10 places. And then probably the artists will make about $10,000 or $13,000 then in total.
Yeah.
I mean, charging 3 million, 5, 10 in every spot, and charging the most in the spot where they sing at midnight.
Yeah, that part, yeah.
Yeah, so if I'm to say, I don't know whether we were very naive, I don't know whether we were just not knowledgeable about everything, but the little that most mattered and that I remember was that there was literally no musician that had an idea about how they could make money from their music, apart from performing on stage.
Yeah.
A few of them had gotten endorsements. You remember earlier in time, the likes of Bobby Wine had gotten endorsements for telecom brands. The likes of Chameleon had
HIV
gotten
campaigns.
HIV campaigns and all that.
Yeah.
And still, this money was not really going to the musician. But from a HiPipo point of view, the music industry and broadly the creative arts industry was one that we looked at and we still look at as an enabler of creating decent employment opportunities for millions of people. Because as we very well know, Mark, a musician or a film star will not only have themselves have a job, they'll have fashionistas, they'll have accountants, lawyers, managers. I mean, those are business administrators. They will have PR people, they'll have social workers. Probably every musician will have to employ about a minimum of 15 courses at Makerere University.
Yeah.
And that cannot be any kind of capacity, should be underestimated. The value that comes with the same is supposed to be very useful. But did any of these people that came in the circle even know the value of what they should bring? I'm sure to date, there is probably very few musicians in East Africa that have really good management.
Yeah, that's why it's still
very few. I mean, our friends, the likes of Jeff, did a great job doing the ground management. And the localized management of acts, making them very successful at making hits and performing the most around the country, also getting them more tired at the same time. But it is a very formidable job, and it's commendable in so many ways. But then we've been told that the only way you can be able to become rich is being able to do work that can get you paid even in your absentia.
Yes, work while sleeping.
While you sleep. Oh, you said it better. So I wanted to be kind, polite while you're sleeping. So, and this was not a thought of any musician.
Even today, unfortunately. And we're talking about 2009, by the way.
I'm keeping quiet and thinking, okay,
Yeah.
if it is not happening today.
It's not happening today either.
Okay, so I'm imagining, okay, what else is not happening? Okay, of course, we really have to do so much more to shape, but at least thoughts have been had. So we're like, okay, can we aggregate music? So first of all, I mean, you remember the thoughts and the questions around metadata.
Yeah.
I mean, up to today, very many musicians don't even remember the person who played an instrument on their song.
They don't even have the writers listed
They
on
don't
the
have
song.
the writers listed on the songs. They don't have the composer.
They don't know the year it was released.
Really?
Because the metadata has all this. And unfortunately, sometimes you have to go in. Because if you say you're going by YouTube, you might find a song that was released in 2006 being uploaded probably again. Because of the challenge that they had where other people used to upload videos for them, and they get to upload their own videos probably like 2009 or 2011. So you're like, so was the song released in 2011? I thought the song was released before then.
Exactly.
So it's tough for you to get the metadata correctly.
Though that wasn't really a problem for us alone. I also saw songs of Michael Jackson that were done in 1986 that were uploaded in 2005. So
Yeah, because YouTube wasn't there at the time.
Yeah, exactly. So I'd say it wasn't really a problem of us alone, but aggregating music comes in. We're trying and working to structure music and helping the many we could access and talk to appreciate the value of what would actually happen as a result of them understanding the depth of their music.
Yeah.
And then also help many understand the need of having an ecosystem created for their art. I mean, up to today, people are still speaking of, do you have a manager? But then people are running labels that have structures that can manage 10 artists at once with the same human resource, that can make sure that create a network that allows for a song to become a hit in a week because they have created an extensive network. So aggregating music, we start thinking of ways of creating a payment solution by then, because there wasn't mobile money.
Yeah.
Cards were really bad, even in the banks that had them, which were like 2 or 3 of them in Uganda. And we like, okay, what can we do to add value to this art? A musician brings you an MP3, probably not a 16-bit, but maybe something else.
It might bring you 128.
Exactly.
General standard.
General standard. So they bring you this music and you, okay, how can we break down this content? It's a video, for example. How do we break it down? So we decided to break down every component of music. Ask them questions that would ideally help them create some kind of bio or metadata for the acts. Ask them about the producers. Ask them about who they have worked with on the journey. Then do some bit of curating of this music. Then analyze it, create a standard opinion of a song. Each of them that we got that was new. We didn't have so much resource to do reviews for old songs, apart from a few select acts that were much demanded, and those we could get on and curate them, analyze them, and create an opinion of what we think they should be and they are, and what they mean to the industry and to the followers. Of course, this was in one way supplementing and supporting what we were calling the Pipo Awards or the Pipo Charts. And we said, okay, this would help create a way of creating an aggregation journey. So things like caller tunes were starting to happen. These were big conversations we had with MTN and Airtel, but some people were faster then and got into the space and got a chance to run these kind of solutions that are still running. And we thought that as part of aggregating music, that maybe because there were big players like the telecoms, that maybe there could be very many chances of musicians leveraging this to get good money.
Yes.
And aggregators and a few other companies that call themselves aggregators got licenses to operate on behalf of telecoms to onboard music. Some really decided to rob whoever was giving them their music.
Yes.
They didn't pay them any money. If they paid them, a musician goes and asks for money. They tell them, for the last 3 years you've made 90,000 shillings. And that alone frustrates you enough not to ask for anything else. So, I mean, that was happening. And I still believe, like we did that time, that the model of something that looks like color tunes was going to be a beautiful way of creating a commercialized flow of our art. Because we are not in a place where people have already believed in copyright. I mean, adding respect to the art and believing in paying. For instance, people will go and pay on Spotify, on Apple, and iTunes, and all that kind of stuff freely, saying, "Oh, it is loyalty that I'm paying to my artists. I'm paying for their music. It is the value that I'm getting that I'm paying for." So that hadn't happened even up to today. But because we also had the big challenge of distribution, so aggregation has to come in. You want to distribute, but you also want to let them understand, okay, there is value that you can get out of this.
Yeah.
So we started conceptualizing ideas of creating things like online concerts by that time. I mean, a lot of things are happening. Yeah.
So this is 2009, while you're looking at aggregating music fully and having that information that even to this day, 2023 is still a challenge.
Yeah.
That you can, even songs that came out last year, it's up for you to find out the exact time they came out.
Yeah, sure.
So it's a challenge. So so when you're looking at, for example, you go from aggregating, then you get into creating online concerts.
Yeah.
So what was the goal? What did you want to achieve with the online concerts at the time? Because people are used to the traditional concerts, which are, I go to a venue, someone pays me, I perform, and I'm paid.
Well, we were excited about some of the things we thought digital payments would help us achieve. Reaching broader markets
Yeah.
at scale, and being able to achieve payment for a service or for a product that you're offering without having to perform anywhere physically.
Yeah.
So, and we were thinking that part of these concerts would ideally first start by having DJs. So they're the ones that champion this kind of play. A musician is selected, they have maybe about 20 songs that are good. We create promos or around them and then get them to come and feature. But of course, that wasn't something that was going to happen for anyone in Uganda by that time. It was really for the diaspora. But the bigger challenge was that even us who wanted to create them didn't have full-time access to internet.
Yeah.
So the only way we could do such things was to go and stay in Makerere University lab for about some 12 hours after 5 p.m. so that you're able to use internet when everyone has left. So
it's faster.
Yeah, it meant you had to run the concerts at night. Of course, in so many destinations around Europe, they would also still be in the night. But that also helped us in strengthening the creation of an algorithm that would later become a power determinant of what we over enjoyed. And I think we'll have a conversation in the next episode, the HiPipo Charts.
Yes.
I mean, Pipo Awards, HiPipo Charts and all that. I mean, it is from the playlist, it's from the breakdown and creation of content that we say, can we create an algorithm based on everything we create? When we write an article, a review on a song, on a musician, an analysis, when we create a rating where people can rate a musician, a song out of 5 or 10, then we combine all these things and put them together as statistics, and then we're able to rate artist of the month, we're able to rate the song of the day, song of the week, song of the month, and all that kind of stuff.
Based on traction and
based on traction, based on how much time people spend reading someone's article, based on how much time people replay the same song. I mean, because you are gauging appetite You are gauging love.
Yes.
You're not saying hits. You're saying, do they love the song? This IP address played this song yesterday. They have come back to play it today. Why? So we wanted to be able to measure some of those metrics that would ideally help shape the kind of thoughts we had about building the music industry.
And it's and that's still big business to this day, because
Yeah.
the most information that you can get from something, it helps you in every decision you make after that. And that's why even currently 2023, the biggest asset is the data. Having information of how much people are interested in your anything you produce. It might be a song, might be in a book you write, and you have it online for people to access to. So anything creative, as long as you can access the information of which people are listening to you, what age group, what sex are they, what region are they from, and what ethnicity background, then you now start marketing products based on that. That's how social media works. And unfortunately, all this was happening in 2009. The infrastructure wasn't very favorable for you to have most, like, currently what is available in abundance right now, though it's not yet to the point where we want it, but there is enough internet now but that we can use for the moment. I know the people might tell you that might say it's expensive in the comment. Yes, it's expensive, but at least you can access it.
Yes.
And so when you do this traction, I know you did come up with the top 20 celebrities. That is the same year, 2009.
Yeah.
So how did that go? And at the time, were there any surprises of the people that participated in that campaign too?
Yeah, well, there are quite a lot of things that happened. I remember some of the top names that came into these conversations were obviously Navio, that was supported by an urban market.
Yes.
Per se.
People that have access to internet.
Yeah, apart from having one song, Badman from Kamocha, the rest of his music was really the urban hip hop and English, for that matter.
Isn't that the same year where he did a concert at Chadondo, right?
Chadondo, yeah. Katikati.
Was it Chadondo, I think, yeah. Because him and GNL had a concert in the same.
It was at Uma.
It was at Uma, yeah?
Yeah, sure. So Navio, Nameless, Bobby Wine had really good fans, and Bebe Cool, Angela Katatumba, for those who Love is in the Air. I think is it called Love in the Air?
Yeah, Love in the Air with Keiko.
With the Air with, I think, probably with Keiko, yes. I think. Lady JD and Radio and Weasel was growing. GNL Zamba, Kid Fox was still a name to reckon on. I mean, it is that year when I personally started overly supporting the Good Life Christmas Party, and HiPipo was at the depth of supporting them and helping them acquire sponsorships. It was crazy how they were well managed, but they didn't even have someone who could cater to writing a good proposal for them by that time. I mean, all these things. And when we're talking about aggregating music, someone out there might not even appreciate the fact that all these things actually matter. There is no way you're going to have a good contract when you cannot write a single page.
Yeah.
There is no way you're going to have a good agreement when you cannot read it very well and know what you need to have. So musicians were running to some of the aggregators, signing agreements in 7 places, but they all have exclusive.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's saying, I'm signing an exclusive agreement here. But then there are 7 people who have an exclusive agreement. Like,
all of you are battling for that exclusive
everyone
agreement.
is battling for exclusivity. So a lot of these things were happening, but the greatest thing that was happening was that HiPipo had become another medium of information sharing and distribution of music. So apart from the traditional radio, print, and TV that we had, now there was HiPipo. It wasn't internet. So wherever you find internet today, whatever you call internet, whatever you call TikTok, Facebook, whatever it is, a platform that you're using, YouTube, that you're using to consume music and distribute it, at that time it was HiPipo. So either you were on HiPipo or you are on radio.
On radio, yes.
Which were about 200 radio stations, maybe. Either you were on TV, there were maybe about 14 licensed TVs by that time. And most of them were owned by churches. And all you were in print in one of the newspapers.
So we are there. That is all said to say that if you are anywhere deciding to do anything online, it's either you had to go to HiPipo or go nowhere else. because there wasn't any other outlet for you to put music at. And what you see today as TikTok wasn't available at the time. YouTube wasn't as big as it is at the moment. So the only solution would be, if you're getting information, getting music, files, pictures of artists, the only thing, bios, you only had to go to HiPipo. So we say that all to say, in a humble way, that probably the work some of you that get introduced to recently wasn't started in a few years back, right?
Yeah.
So maybe there should be some appreciation in the comments later on, all right? We're just trying to keep humble, but we shall, as we go on, I don't know how long we shall be humble for that. But as we go on, more episodes coming out soon. This is 2009. That was the 3rd episode. Innocent Kawooya, the CEO of HiPipo. My name is Mark Xtreme. And George from NG Films is doing everything, the recording that you see here, and the editing that is done on this. So until next time, wherever you get podcasts from, search for the HiPipo Chronicles. And this is HiPipo across all social media platforms.